I welcome you back to our study, and I greet you all, and I believe and hope that you've been well all along by God's grace. I want us to talk about the 8 laws of health. I know in life we are struggling when it comes to different types of ailments which we face in life. But I want to tell you that there is hope in this world. We have something that which if we follow, our health will become fine. So these are the 8 laws which if anyone can consider them, they can help for recovery, and they can also help for preventing sicknesses or diseases. So for now, we've been talking about fresh air, or air, as one of the 8 laws of health. Air, it is so beneficial. Actually, I'm not going to go back to our previous lessons, but the one which we had last time, it was talking about fresh air, the benefit of having oxygen as the blood cleanser. For us to have good health, we need to have clean blood or pure blood, of which one of the things which we can use to purify the blood, that is the oxygen. So that's what we have learned. So for now, instead of oxygen in the days that we are living in, we find that most of the times we take much time inhaling carbon dioxide, and we don't even consider it or see it as something which is dangerous. So for now, in this time, I want us to look at the danger of carbon dioxide in the human body. So that's what we are going to share for this time. Then, as we have described previously, that carbon dioxide is the waste product which is found or which is produced when metabolism is taking place. That is the carbon dioxide which is found from within. But even at the atmosphere, we can also have this thing which is called carbon dioxide. It is there. We know it is coming. Some are smoking. We know as they are breathing in that smoke which is coming from the nostrils which they are smoking or whatever that they are smoking. That is carbon dioxide which they are taking in. And then sometimes when we're staying next to the factories, we can also be taking carbon dioxide. There are many things which we do as humans which pollutes the air, and then we breathe in that same carbon dioxide. So I want us to look at it. What happens when we have breathed in that carbon dioxide? It is not an easy thing. It is not a nice thing to give a body such kind of a gas. When carbon dioxide is breathed into the lungs, it dissolves in the water, and it is diffused or spread across the lung tissue called the alveolar capillary membrane, and then enters the bloodstream. So for the next time, we'll be talking while showing also the picture so that you can see how is each system designed. In our lungs, we have some things which are called the alveolar, as we have described it in another lesson. We have the alveolar. That alveolar is covered by capillarities. Those capillarities, they are the ones which are helping with gaseous exchange. And then this carbon dioxide, when it is breathed in, it dissolves in the water and it is diffused, and it goes across the tissues which are called those capillarities which are covering the alveolus. And then from there it goes to the bloodstream. So we have explained that the heart and the lungs, they work together. they are connected by the veins, the pulmonary vein and also the artery vein. So these ones are the ones which helps to take back the carbon dioxide from the body back to the respiratory system, and then it is exhaled, and then through the pulmonary vein, then the oxygen is taken, the one which we breathe in, and then it is taken back to the bloodstream and back to different parts of our bodies which are made up of cells, so that these cells can get that oxygen to use it for whatever that they are going to use it for. So good people, I want us to consider something here. We must be very careful we must study more about our body systems, how they work, how they function, so that we can be able to understand if we are doing something which is dangerous or which in turn brings harm to ourselves. So when carbon dioxide is combined with water, you remember I have said, I have mentioned that when you have inhaled this carbon dioxide, it is going to be mixed with water when it reaches inside. And then when it is mixed with water now, they say when carbon dioxide is combined with water, it forms carbonic acid, which in turn makes the blood acidic and thus lowering the blood pH. That's what carbon dioxide does when we inhale it. And then let's just follow each other so that we can understand the danger of inhaling carbon dioxide. So now when it is mixed with water, when it reaches inside, then it becomes carbonic acid. And then that carbonic acid will make the blood pH to be low. And what is the problem now when the blood pH is low? Okay, let's continue. This situation is called being acidosis, and it requires your kidneys and lungs to work hard to deal with the situation. When now the blood pH is low, it means the blood has become what? Acidosis. That's what that is the term which they call. It's another type of a sickness that which shows that maybe the kidneys and the lungs could not function properly, or they could not manage to deal with the acid which is in the blood, to lower it or to neutralize it. So now when you go to the doctors, they will tell you that you are suffering or your blood is acidic or acidosis, things like that. And then when it is like that, what is that situation? This situation is called acidosis, and it requires your kidneys and lungs to work hard to deal with the situation. pH is a scale. So the pH of the blood will become low, and then it will be said that you are acidosis. So what is pH? pH is the scale used to measure the substance to see if it is acidic or alkaline. The acidity of the blood. The acidity of the blood is measured by determining its pH. If they want to see if your blood is alkaline or if your blood is acidic, they use this scale which is called pH to determine such. So a lower pH means that your blood is too acidic, while a higher pH means your blood is more basic. It is like, I don't know if I will explain that properly, but it means it will be like watery. It is not like acidic. So if now the pH is lower, it means your blood is acidic, and then if it is higher or above a certain level of the pH, it means it will become alkaline or it will become basic. So that's the scale they are going to use. And then according to the American Association for Clinical Chemistry, acidosis is characterized by pH level of 7.85 or lower. When the pH level is 7.45 or higher, it is alkaline. So as they are trying to determine whether your blood is acidic or is alkaline, they use that pH, which is the scale. And then if they found that your pH is lower than 7.35, then it means your blood is acidic. And then now if the scale says that the pH on the blood is above 7.5, then it means it is alkaline. And that is the blood which each and everyone, as we are living, we need to have the blood which is alkaline than the blood which is acidic. And how do we get that blood which is acidic? Some of the things which we do to get to that such kind of sickness or situation is because we inhale carbon dioxide. When it gets in the water, in our bodies, then it mixes with water, it becomes acidic. Then when we go to see the doctors, then they will tell us that we are acidosis or something like that. So when the blood has become acidic, it is not a normal condition, and it requires the body to do something so that it will be neutralized. It cannot stay like that and then you have a good life. So the body must do something to neutralize that blood so that it can be alkaline. And then for this neutralization to happen, different mechanics are used by the body. It does not just happen that the blood was acidic. Now it must be neutralized, and naturally it will be neutralized. I mean, like nothing happened, but it becomes neutralized. No, it does not happen like that. What happens is that the body will use different mechanics to neutralize the blood, and that comes with a cost. It does not just happen. Let's look at that. I'm going to talk about 5 mechanics which the body is going to use, which comes with a cost in our lives or a threat of our health, as the body uses them to neutralize the acid which is in the fluids of our bodies or in the blood. So the first mechanic which I'm going to talk about, it is breathing. So the mechanics which the body is going to use to neutralize the blood which is acidic, it is breathing rate, which increases. Blood pressure will also increase. Number 3, heart rate increases. Kidneys bicarbonate production also must increase. And then arteries in the brain and spinal cord must dilate. So as the body is using these mechanics, what happens? What happens to our bodies as heart rate is increasing, breathing rate is increasing? All these things which I have mentioned here, they are no longer working as they were supposed to work, meaning they are working hard now. So what happens to our bodies? So now the first one which I mentioned is the breathing rate, which will increase. This makes the respiratory system to overwork, and then in its overworking, it causes other problems which I'm not going to mention for now. But the one I want us to look at is this blood pressure increasing, as so that the body can deal with the blood which has become acidic. What happens? The veins will thicken, and then they will harden as well, and then that can lead us to having a heart attack. So because the blood pressure has increased, the arteries are going to thicken. They are also going to become hard. I don't know if you understand these terms when they are talking about blood pressure. I can give an example of a tube or a pipe. Yes, a pipe. A vein is similar to a pipe, and then as the blood flows through it flows normally. The heart will pump the blood to different parts of the body, and then the blood will flow normally through that vein to different parts of the body. So now when we talk about blood pressure which increases, it means that blood now will have to come it will have to come with much pressure than it normally does. Like it will come with too much pressure, whilst at the same time it must be doubled, or it must be added, and it will now become too much blood, which will be flowing at a certain time through that vein. And as that happens, the veins thicken and they harden, and that can lead us to the problem of having heart attack. So that's why I'm saying it comes with a cost for this acidic blood to be neutralized after it has been acidic. So we can have that, that can put us at the risk of having heart attack or having a stroke. So as that blood pressure is increased, it's not only the hardening and the thickening which happens. The vein or the arteries can also form some bulges, and these bulges ends up bursting. And then the doctors, when you go and see the doctors, they will say you have internal bleeding, and that internal bleeding is a threat to your life as well. Just think of someone where sometimes when they say a person has died, why has he died? It's because he had internal bleeding in the brain, meaning that the artery has busted, and then now that that busting of the brain, of the artery in the brain, it caused that internal bleeding, and the blood now is flowing out to the brain, and then that the brain does not need any flow of blood, and then that causes the person to end up dying. So we need to be careful, or we need to consider the issue of inhaling or finding ourselves in a good environment, that which whereby we are not only going to be inhaling this carbon dioxide time and again, because it threatens our health. So the third mechanic which I'm going to talk about is a heart rate which increases, so which can lead to blood clots, heart failure, and recurring fainting. So we have many people who faint, many people who have blood clots. It's not only being obese which can cause these blood clots and so forth, but also carbon dioxide can take part to create such kind of situation where one can have blood clots and heart failure. The heart has to work to make sure that the blood is neutralized. So the heart must work, so its rate must increase, and then now those blood clots which are going to be formed there, then we end up having even the fainting spells. So this is not a good situation, or it's not a nice situation. So the fourth mechanic which I'm going to talk about is that kidney bicarbonate production increases. Blood vessels in the extremities contract, thus causing the blood flow to the parts of the extremities to be restricted. And when there is no enough blood flow, no enough oxygen and nutrients on those parts. So here, what I would like to try to explain is that bicarbonate is produced by the kidneys. So now that the blood has become too acidic, the kidneys are supposed to work hard to produce this bicarbonate, so that this bicarbonate can neutralize the acid which is there in the blood and help it to be alkaline. So it cannot just work as normal, like usual, but it must add much, like its function will increase in that process of producing that bicarbonate. So for now, as that happens, the kidneys needs or requires much blood, or yes, attention of blood, and then it will be like the body will concentrate much on the kidneys. So we know that when the blood flows, it does not only flow with oxygen, it also flows with nutrients to different parts of our cells, which are going to become energy, because a cell needs energy to work whatever that it is supposed to work. So as the blood flows throughout the body, it flows with that oxygen, it also flows with nutrients to different cells which are there in the body. So for now, since the blood is most of the blood is concentrated to the kidneys, it means the parts which are there at the extremities are going to no longer have enough blood, and that will mean that they will no longer have enough nutrients, enough oxygen. For that time, they will be bound to suffocate, and that causes other problems, because it means for that time they will not be having energy to do any work. So the problem which I know for now is that when you have a tingliness or yes, tingliness and something like that, like you feel like on the toes, on the fingers, those are the parts which are at the extremities. So when you have those tingliness, you feel like there is a needle which is like pricking you there, and then you feel like this, you feel the numbness on those parts, the legs and or the feet, and also the hands. So that's because there's not enough blood flow to those parts of the body. So that's what happens, because if there's no blood, then it means it will be difficult for any part of the body to function properly. So the last one which I'm going to talk about is that arteries in the brain, spinal cord, and the heart dilate, so that the blood flow can be diverted to maintain the function of the citric organs. So the blood must be diverted mostly to the kidneys, because the kidneys is one of the organs which are being used to make sure that the acid is neutralized in the blood. So good people, it is not just coming at an easy. It comes with a cost. Yes, the body, you can inhale carbon dioxide today, tomorrow, but I'm telling you, the more you continue to have such kind of an environment where the air is polluted, full of carbon dioxide, and your time and again breathing that carbon dioxide, finally the body will have, or will naturally say, I am tired, I can no longer make it, I've been trying hard, and then I don't even get a support. So for us to support the body, we need to especially wake up in the mornings where the air is still clear. You do the deep breaths, and then as you breathe in, the blood will be purified from that carbon dioxide, and then even the carbon dioxide which is produced through the process of metabolism which is taking place in our bodies. So we need to consider this issue if we need to have good health. So I'm going to read a verse for you from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17, which reads, If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. So we are the temple of the Lord. So we need not to defile this temple which we are. So this verse also shows me that we are able as people to defile this temple of the Lord. We can say, no, how can we defile the temple? No, we're not talking about the church. Your body is the temple of the Lord, and you need to take care of it. God even says the one who destroys it, he is going to also destroy such kind of a person. So carbon dioxide is not something which will clean the temple, but oxygen is something which can clean the temple of the Lord. Lastly, I'm reading 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19 and verse 20, What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own. You are not your own. I like this verse. I am not my own. And to know that I do not belong to myself, that helps me to keep and to take care of this temple. And then verse 20 says, for ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. So finally, I'm saying that we belong to God, the one who created us, and then we left him in the book of Genesis chapter 3. And then when we left him, John 3 verse 16, God loved us and he gave us his son. So we belong to God twice. He redeemed us back. So may God bless us, and then we consider this matter or this issue of getting oxygen. Thank you.